Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Drew's Food Reviews. Today I've got another episode of Classic Candy Corner. And like on all Classic Candy Corners, I don't really rate the items. I just kind of try them and, go back over my memories of when these were out. And it seems like these came out somewhere in the late 70s and everybody was trying them when they first came out, and then they had the whole thing with the, don't drink Pepsi and Pop Rocks, you'll blow your blow your mouth off or whatever. Found these at my grocery store, and I think you can find them pretty much anywhere. I think Target's got them, and some of these other. I've even heard that they've got Pop Rock gum, and these are the two flavors that I found. I think they may have another one, but I'm not really sure. This is cherry and grape. I think they have a watermelon one out there. Yeah, here. Okay. Still popping after 40 years. So, yeah, that would put it, probably somewhere in the 70s. I don't know the exact year, but and 40 calories for that and 40 calories for this. This one doesn't say still popping after 40 years. This is original cherry artificial flavor. Pop Rocks Kraken candy. Never noticed that. Crackling candy, okay. And this is grape. And if you guys remember the Pop Rocks, they actually had another one. It was called, there was another thing. It wasn't called Pop Rocks. It was called like Fizzy Rocks or Fizzy Candy or something. Everybody always had their own knockoff version of it, and they just called it something different. But these were the classic ones, and I remember getting these. The Ice Cream Man used to have them. You get them at the gas station. You get them at your supermarket. You get them, pretty much anywhere. And sometimes they came like in a 3-pack, or, all the different places would get them, and everybody got them. And then they, take the Pop Rocks, and then they take a swig of Pepsi or Coke or whatever, and then it would like pop real loud and stuff in there. And they even went so far as to put Pop Rocks in other candy. I think they had that, was the Cherry Cola Oreos, where they put the little Pop Rocks in the frosting of the Oreo cookie to make it be like a fizzy drink. But yeah, so that was what Pop Rocks were. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try this one again to just remember what it's like and see if it still has a pop like it used to all these years ago. And I remember the thing here. We got if you've never seen Pop Rocks, or not known about any of them, and if maybe you're from a different country, they didn't have Pop Rocks where you were. They're just little pieces of candy, and when you put them in your mouth, they fizz and crackle and pop. And they're just little things, and everybody had their own way of doing them. You'd put your finger in there and lick it off your finger. Sometimes you just like take the whole thing and dump it in your mouth, and some people would put it in their hands, and different. Everybody was a little different on how they did it, and I'm gonna go ahead and just try a little bit. And for those of you that are ASMR, here we go. Turn it down a little bit there. So here we go. I'm gonna put this in there, and here we go. And as more you bite on them, they crack and pop, and kind of like Rice Krispies. Not grape was good. I could still hear the fizzle and the pop and the crackle. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of cherry. Same thing. I think I like the cherry a little bit better. Grape doesn't have a lot of grape flavor coming through. And you can see they're a lot more red. The only trouble with this is if you don't eat the whole box, they get kind of stale or they stick together once they get kind of moist. But yeah, there you go. Pop Rocks. And it was always fun to, you know, with your friends and see if you could down a whole bag and let it pop off and talk to each other while you're making all the little fizzy things. And some people would pour them into the soda and watch it all fizz up everywhere and all that. But I remember this when I was little, and everybody had them. Like I said, the ice cream man, the grocery stores. Get them sometimes like at, you know, the corner store, gas stations. Everywhere had them, and it was like the new sensation. And it was always cool to have the Pop Rocks, and all it is just mostly sugar. And after the kids, you know, take a bag full of Pop Rocks, and after it's done popping, they're still on their little sugar high, and then they're jumping around and they're doing all their stuff. And yeah, that was about it. And the one thing I remember one time was my one friend, he had Pop Rocks, and he was kind of like a smart aleck. And that was the one I told you about. If you watched any of my other reviews, the guy that got pushed into the river, and you know, the other one that was like the bad influence on me. And he was telling me this one time what he did was, and he got kicked out of quite a few schools, and he, you know, went around because he was kind of like a bad seed. I don't know how I hooked up with him, but anyway, he told me this story about one of his schools that he ended up getting kicked out of, and he liked to do stuff that was, you know, kind of not real good. And he told me that, you know, he was able to get a hold of the dry ice. And if you remember, dry ice was kind of like, you know, a little dry ice, and you'd pour water in it, it would make all the little smoke, and it would fizzle and all that stuff. And so he said, you know, I was thinking about this Pop Rock thing, and he said that he went and he got a 2-liter bottle, and he emptied it out, and then he took the dry ice. I guess he got somewhere. You could get them at like the dairy, or you can get them sometimes like at the grocery stores. They had them like in a little container, and you can get a chunk of dry ice if you wanted to do it. Yeah, for some things, sometimes like for a party or whatever. Anyways, he got a hold of some dry ice somehow. He took a 2-liter bottle, and I guess he crushed up the dry ice, and he dumped it into the 2-liter bottle, and he was going to the library because he had a beef with the librarian or whatever. And yeah, so anyways, he took the 2-liter bottle, he filled it up with dry ice, and then he went into the library, and he had I guess he had a bottle of water, and he poured the bottle of water into the 2-liter bottle with the dry ice, and he took the lid to it, and he crazy glued the lid to the 2-liter bottle in the top. And when that water was mixing with the dry ice, and it was making all that gas and pressure, and the lid was all crazy glued down, he went over into the library stacks. And if you guys remember the old library where they had the big card catalogs, they didn't have the computers, they had the card catalogs with the drawers, and you had to pull them all out and search through it to find what the book was or whatever. And they had these big giant wooden card catalogs. And he said he went into the library like in noontime or whatever, and he took this, it was a bomb, and he took the 2-liter bottle, he filled it up with dry ice, he put the water in there, crazy glued it down, and then he put it behind the card catalog. And then he went and was sitting like in a chair somewhere or whatever and pretending to read. And the more that thing brought up the pressure, and eventually, you know, it got too big, and all of a sudden, boom, it knocked the whole card catalog all the way over. And they thought that everybody in the place thought, you know, for sure that someone had set a bomb off or something. And, you know, there's all this smoke and everything. It's a crazy glued bottle. And somehow I think they figured out that it was him, and he actually got expelled from school. So, yeah, he went out with a bang, I guess. And so, yeah, that's kind of the pop rock story, I guess, that you know, he wanted to make a statement, and he really did, and he got expelled for it. So, you know, sometimes kids are like that. So anyway, that's kind of my memory of the pop rocks and the, you know, the bad friends. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and the notification bell right over there. That way you won't miss any future content or when I go live. It's been another episode of Classic Candy Corner, and I'm still looking for classic candy out there for you guys. Hopefully I'll find some other cool ones to review for you guys. So till next time, thanks for stopping in, and I'll talk to you later. Cut. Take 2. Hit this and don't forget to hit